Carrie Gracie reporting. Well, let's get a response to that report and US-China relations too from Zhang Weiwei, who is a professor of international relations at Fudan University in Shanghai. Let's turn to the closure of the consulate in Chengdu, part of these growing tensions between the United States and China. How would you characterize the way in which the Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's speech on China, how was it received there?
Well, he is very ideological, kind of a cold warrior, very outdated, very arrogant, to be honest, arrogant and ignorant. We do not take him very serious.
I just wonder what you make then of the kind of rhetoric that we're seeing from Washington, that China poses the greatest threat to the United States.
That's very stupid, to be honest. This particular politician is not really knowledgeable of the world affairs and Chinese affairs. So this kind of ignorance will perhaps mean a huge strategic mistake on the part of the United States. So I think in part it has to do with US election politics, but on the whole, it will go away.
You don't think that there will be any further consequences of the kinds of strategy that has been laid out by the US Secretary of State, whether it's part of President Trump's election campaign or not?
Whether it's a strategy or not, basically, China is not the Soviet Union. China is the world's largest trading nation with 130 countries, China's largest trading partner. China, the world's largest economy by purchasing power parity. China, the world's largest middle class, 400 million real middle class. So you want to contain a country like that? You will be isolated. That's the choice of the United States to be it.
So you think that the United States will be far more damaged by this kind of rhetoric than China?
For sure, we will see that. Just like the trade war hurts more United States than it's hurting China.
And what do you think might be the response then of President Xi? Because clearly this tit-for-tat diplomatic row is not good for either country. That years and years of engagement between the two countries is unravelling, even if it's very slowly.
No, the point is in China, we have a leadership which is sophisticated and competent. And in the United States, you have, at this moment, I'm sorry, a very incompetent leadership. And to be honest, by whatever standards, it's of low quality. But that's choice of the American people, American political system. So we cannot help it. So I don't see this kind of strategy will work eventually.
If you regard the administration in Washington as lacking in sophistication, the authorities in Beijing have done exactly what the authorities in Washington have done. They've closed down a consulate. It's exactly the same.
No, this is a countermeasure because in diplomacy, you emphasize reciprocity. So you make a provocation, we give a measured response. That's it.
OK, so reciprocity, but where could it go? Do you think that the sophistication of which you speak in Beijing might lead to a different strategy, a different approach taken by President Xi that might de-escalate the current tension?
For us, actually, we are always urging a kind of de-escalation. We see it's meaningless to have a confrontation. You have no way to contain China. China is a normal country. It's developing. Most people feel happy about the approach on the whole, on the rise of China. And China has the full right to be a fully developed country. And we can really have win-win cooperation with the United States. So what's the point of containing China in such a Cold War way, which will not work? And most Chinese don't buy this.
What do you think would happen if President Trump wins in November? Because if he doesn't, then you'll be dealing with a different president and possibly a different strategy. But if he does, it looks as though this strategy will be the same.
If you still have a presidency which is, to our mind, very irrational, whatever he does, it hurts more the U.S. own interest than the Chinese interest. We're prepared for the worst. I remember one thing which Joe Biden may be right when he said, Donald, you should grow up. I hope he will grow up.
Do you think that the feeling inside Beijing is that Joe Biden will become president and that there will be an attempt or an opportunity to reset relations?
We do not care much about who will be in power. Basically, China and the United States have to find a way to live together And we think there are every ways and means possible to improve the bilateral relations between the two great nations. That's important.